Earlier this summer, rising NBA superstar Anthony Edwards gave his list of the top 5 players in NBA history. And one guy who was left off this list was indeed LeBron James. And not having LeBron James in this top 5 in the year 2023, to some fans, is considered blasphemy. And quite frankly, a lot of LeBron fans, LeBron media, took this top 5 list as a major shot at their king. Now, Anthony Edwards, he's one of the more brash young superstars, isn't afraid of anyone. As even when it comes to past NBA legends, a guy like Michael Jordan, Ant Edwards would say point blank that MJ couldn't have guarded him. And looking back at LeBron James, Ant Edwards had a very similar comment with LeBron's defense, saying, quote, he would cook LeBron James if the Lakers didn't double team him and have help defense. And I would assume after those comments happened, LeBron James, he would have been a little bit ticked off and motivated to destroy Anthony Edwards. As their upcoming game in Minnesota, that game was booked as a marquee matchup. Unfortunately for us NBA fans though, LeBron James had a minor injury ankle tweak conveniently before this game. Now look, in the year 2023, there's a lot of NBA superstars who duck the smoke and sit out games conveniently due to injuries or even fake illnesses. And LeBron sitting out this game was very Joel Embiid-ish. As the Lakers, minus LeBron of course, lost this game, AD went solo, and their losing streak was extended to a whopping 5 games. So with LeBron ducking Ant Edwards, one of the rising NBA superstars, it made me think, did Michael Jordan back in the day at age 38-39 have a similar situation to Ant Edwards versus LeBron James? And luckily for you guys, there's one scenario that is eerily similar. As back in the 01-02 season, a 30-year-old Michael Jordan was called out by Vince Carter, who just like Ant Edwards, was in his 4th year and a rising NBA superstar. And Vince before this game, when discussing MJ the Wizards, kind of brushed off Jordan's defense as an afterthought, and the idea Jordan could lock him down was dismissed.
Vince Carter today on facing Air Jordan.
He's not guarding me and I'm not guarding him, so, it's just, I just come out there and do my job, night in, night out. That's what it's all about. And right now, I have to worry about Richard Hamilton. He's the one actually doing the job for the team as far as putting the points up there, so I have to worry about him.
And to add some context, heading to this game, Jordan, of course, was 38 years old, had been retired for only 3 years before this, and Vince Carter was a dunk champion, all-star, and all-NBA player. So in the first half, Toronto and Vince Carter, they were dominating, they were rolling, and breezing their way to an easy victory versus a mediocre Wizards team. And Jordan at that point wasn't really guarding Vince 1v1 and taking the assignment personal, as Vince in the first half had 23 points, 8 of 17 shooting, 0 of 1 from deep, with only 1 turnover. Now of course, Toronto winning this game, Vince Carter playing fantastic, you would think in the second half Vince would at least have 17 points, over 40, and possibly 50. Not this night, as Jordan, aged 38, took the assignment of a young prime superstar and shut him down, as Vince in the second half could barely even get a shot off. As in the next 24 minutes, Vince Carter had a whopping 0 points, 0 of 4 from the field, 0 of 2 from deep, with 0 free throws attempted. And Vince in the fourth quarter, it wasn't like he wasn't trying. He played 10.5 minutes with a possible 12. But Jordan still shut this guy down on both ends of the court. As in the second half, Jordan had 12 points to Vince Carter's 0, 3 boards on 5 of 12 shooting, and 2 of 2 from the line. This right here, Vince Carter pre-injury, was the best version of Vince, and he was getting all the hype in the world, being called Jordan 2.0, being compared to Kobe, T-Mac, and the great players of that era. And for some more context of how great Vince was, in the 01 playoffs prior to this year, he averaged 27 points per game and went head-to-head with a prime Allen Iverson. Now look, Vince Carter in 02, I would say, was better than Michael Jordan, who was 38. And I wouldn't say Jordan is the best 38-year-old in NBA history. But the thing is about Michael Jordan, a player his caliber, on any given night, he can rise to the occasion, dominate, and tap into that greatness. And on the defensive end, despite numerous knee injuries, ankle injuries, having bad fingers, if he mustered up the energy, he could shut down even the brightest of NBA stars. And if you want to compare Vince Carter versus Jordan that year in 2002, I mean, the numbers aren't that drastically different, as both these guys played 60 games, their teams went 30-30 when they played, and their numbers are eerily similar. Both in the mid-low 20 scoring, 5 boards, 5 assists on so-so shooting splits. Those numbers back in 2002 were 100% elite for a perimeter player. And looking at today's NBA, where teams are scoring 120, 130, even 140 points per night, it makes you miss the days of the 2000s and the 2010s, where the majority of games were in the 100, 110 point range and much more balanced offensively and defensively. And nowadays for NBA superstars, if they even attempt to guard each other, it's not much of a defensive battle versus offensive battle. It's more of conceding, yeah, this guy will get his 25, 30 points, but on the offensive end, I'm going to try to get 30, 35, even 40, and just outscore him. The days of great defensive matchups largely are gone from the NBA. And seeing Jordan age 38 in Washington shut down Vince Carter, who was 24, is 100% impressive in hindsight and in the moment. And like you guys already know, context for eras is definitely very important in evaluating stats and individual players. And back in 2002, again, the offensive prowess, the defensive prowess was night and day. As in today's NBA, the stats we see on a nightly basis are hard to even comprehend. As currently, there are a whopping 51 players averaging 20 plus points per game, 18 guys averaging above 25, and 5 guys averaging above 30. For comparison, back in 2002, there was 1 guy averaging 30 and 6 guys averaging 25 points. Now, what some fans might say is, well, today is much more talented, this era has much more talent. Look, nice try, but the early 2000s was packed full of talent. The difference in eras isn't talent, isn't skill, it's defensive rules, an increase in pace, and three-pointers taken. And some stats that'll blow your mind. Even looking back at 2002, Michael Jordan at advanced age, his overall scoring ability was still top tier for the best NBA stars. As his per 100 stats, he ranked 3rd in the NBA in scoring at 35.7 points. Now keep that number in mind, 35.7 points per 100 possessions. If you look at 2023, per 100, Jason Tatum averaged exactly 35.7 points, the exact same as Jordan in 2002. Now, Tatum currently in the NBA is 10th in scoring ahead of Jokic, Dame, LeBron, and Ant Edwards. What's my point? If you look at Jordan 2002, take into account era, possessions, overall pace, him in 2024 has the same points per game average as Jason Tatum. And again, Tatum is top 10 in scoring ahead of a lot of NBA superstars and rising all-stars. So that right there is the end of the video. And once again, today's NBA, the overall pace and scoring is completely out of control and imbalanced in favor of the offense. And looking back at the 2000s, 2010s, guys averaging 25 points, even 30 points back then, is much more impressive than 30 points in today's league. As always, thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.